I'm Jack Berry with Donahoe Construction, and I'm a senior superintendent, and I've been working with Donahoe for 38, going on 39th year in June. And my first position at Donahoe, I was a laborer at guest quarters on 25th and Pennsylvania Avenue in 1978, where I lasted a few months before I moved on to become a carpenter's helper, working with my brother and my father, and another brother came on another year later. And that was the first positions I had. And after that, I tried a couple times. I tried the office. I went to the office. I did estimating. I've done estimating. I've done help with Jeff Donahoe. We ran the service department. And then I came back out and did jobs on my own. Started running jobs probably at maybe 24, 25 years old, and built Dick Donahoe's house, one of my first big jobs down in St. Michael's, Maryland. And from there I came back to town and started doing remodeling jobs. And after a few of those, we moved on to, I got a call that said, "You're gonna build a building." And so I went and built the first building at Twin Oak. Typical role in our job here as a senior superintendent is we have our schedule to follow, but every day that's scheduled probably by about 7:15, maybe 6:30, 7 o'clock. The schedule's usually broken by then. You got to figure out how to keep it on schedule and take care of today's problems, which usually come in every 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, we've in the past, there's been some jobs that people actually line up waiting for questions, and then you got to try to figure out a solution just to keep the job going. And that's probably the hardest part of the job, is just keeping the job going. While working at the office back in the day, probably, I guess it was 1986, I was trying my luck at estimating, and that didn't work out too well. But my brother Mark had been working with a carpet company, and he had been dealing with a girl, and she came in one day, and Mark said, we had back-to-back offices, and he said, "Here, I want you to meet someone." And he opened up the door, and this girl came in, and I was like, "Hey, you like barbecues?" And she said, "Sure." I said, "Where do you live?" She said, "Chevy Chase." I said, "Gee, it so happens I live in Chevy Chase too, so why don't you come over tomorrow night?" So she came over the next night, and we've been together every day since. I guess one that was really memorable was the one in Annapolis, Park Place, Annapolis, and it was really great because it was 40 minutes from home, no traffic, and probably one of the greatest jobs ever. And it lasted like 4 years, so that was almost like a vacation for 4 years, because I've been traveling for 75 miles away a day each way for 29 years, 27 years, 28 years. So that was a really good one. And it had a little bit of everything, with parking garage, condo building, office buildings, hotel, a lot of site work. So you really were into everything. You had everything going on there possible. And we had 4 tower cranes, and we had probably 8 to 9, 10 superintendents. We had offices across the street with project management team, vice presidents, the whole works, and they were right above the owner of the building. So it was a good job, but it was challenging also. This year marked a great year for me because I was nominated and actually won Superintendent of the Year nominated by the Subcontractors Association. I don't know who I took care of, but I got nominated by the subcontractors. I'm not sure which one I took care of, but I made it, and that was really one of the greatest achievements ever. I mean, I've had different awards through the year. I mean, we've won awards with buildings, and I won awards with sports, but this one really took a lifetime to achieve.